Today's spooky spot, we are having a look at the Mezco Cinema Fear 2 Mez-Itz, featuring Leatherface, Freddy Krueger, and Jason Voorhees. Spot had a look at the Cinema Fear Mez-Itz a long time ago. The Series 1 consisted, I believe, of Freddy Krueger, there was Jason Voorhees, and Leatherface. Cinema Fear 2 features Leatherface in a different suit. It features the new Nightmare Freddy, as well as it features Sackhead Jason from the Nightmare Freddy, Friday the 13th, I should say, Part 1. Back of the package, 3 of the Mez-Itz featured on the back there, as well as www.Mezco Toyz, that's toys with a Z.com. The characters, again, come from Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Friday the 13th Part 2, and Wes Craven's New Nightmare. That being said, Spot's going to take a terrifying break. I'm going to get this opened up, and when we come back, we're going to get a better look at the Cinema Fear Series 2 Mez-Itz. There's more heading your way, guys. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. Before we have a look at the figure, Spot would like to also indicate the fact I called Sackhead Jason from Friday the 13th Part 1. Obviously, that's not the case. That's Friday the 13th Part 2. Let's have a look at the figures now. These could potentially be variants. The reason why I say that is because they are riddled with blood. Not keen on the blood, to be honest. Some of them work a little bit better than others, but I preferred if these had been non-bloodied. That being said, let's first have a look at Leatherface, who comes with a diorama. They all come with dioramas. Leatherface's diorama has the meat hook little room. Of course, all of them have a display stand. They don't peg into the display stand necessarily. They just sit in the grooves. They sit in the grooves of where their little feetsies would go. The diorama is pretty cool, especially again with the... Now, this one could have all the blood. I understand with Leatherface there's going to be a little bit more blood involved than perhaps the other two. So it makes a little bit more sense. I do like the boarding that's on the wall there. That's a nice touch. But there is an excessive amount of blood on this. Really all of them, but on this diorama. That's what it looks like on the back. It looks like this is just a cardboard that's giving us the boarded wall. But it's pretty cool. I mean, if you're going to be displaying them anywhere, it's cool that they come with little dioramas. Let's first have a look at Leatherface. Now this is Leatherface, well, with his Sunday best. He's got a suit on and tie. Not quite the apron-wearing Leatherface. Face is quite cool for a simplistic, stylistic-looking Leatherface. I like it quite a bit. You can still see the little stitches and strap marks where it would be attached to his face. Of course, he's very bloodied, though. He's got blood all over his legs, all over his shirt, all over his tie, all over his jacket. He's got blood everywhere. Perhaps the root cause of the blood could be from his attachment, his accessory, the chainsaw, which has blood all over the blades, leading me to think that was the cause of all his blood. We can take the chainsaw, and it just pegs into his hand like that. Sadly, you can't fit the other hand onto the chainsaw just because it won't reach, but that's okay. He could be a single-hand wielding chainsaw maniac. He does also come with a little bucket with a face. Isn't that pleasant? A little bucket of blood, a little face sticking out of it. I guess that was a face that he opted not to use. The bucket doesn't really sit anywhere. You could sit really just at the side of the diorama here. Posability on Leatherface, or really all 3 of them. He has a very stiff ball joint. So stiff, in fact, it's hard for me to even move it. There we go. As you can see, he does have the ball joint shoulders. Rotates the arms all the way around. He has a swivel at the wrist, swiveled waist, and the legs move. Because he's added this extra torso piece, this separate piece, you might find it shifts a bit when you are trying to move other things on the body. But Leatherface looks good. I think he looks really solid. Solid, creepy, bloody. That's basically Leatherface in a nutshell. Let's put Leatherface onto his display stand. As you can see, it just pegs, just kind of sits in those grooves. It's frictioned enough, if you can get it to properly sit in there. I say it's frictioned enough, or it sits in the grooves well enough that he does stand just like that. And there is his bucket next door. New Nightmare Freddy comes with the boiler room, or the demonic boiler room from the end of the movie, where they go into the equivalent of hell, kind of like Hansel and Gretel. He's got this demonic boiler room furnace. Still has the sections for his feet. Now his feet sit on a more shinier looking floorboard. By the way, all of these floors can detach from the back piece of their diorama, but again, just sit into place like that. New Nightmare Freddy, not crazy. Well, I didn't like the look of him in the movie. I just didn't care for the design look of him. The Mez-Itz version of him is pretty cool, though I don't feel like he should have had any blood on him. If you are essentially fighting Freddy in the dream world, I can't see any real level of excessive amounts of blood on Freddy. It just doesn't jive for me. Face is cool. More stylistic look to Freddy. His face was less burned and more kind of just ripped away, showing all the little muscle tendons and fibers underneath there. He's got a trench coat. It is not removable. It is part of his top vest, or his sweater area here. You can't quite make it out. They didn't really paint the hands well enough to show that his glove was kind of more like a white banded glove that was part of his fingers. Doesn't really convey that very well in the hand here, but again, as a stylistic look to Freddy, it's passable. I just don't. I wish there was not as much blood all over him. And when I originally bought these, I bought these on eBay many moons ago. I don't ever remember seeing a Mez-Itz 2-pack that didn't have the blood on them. Maybe there was a non-variant version. I would have opted, though, for the non-variant version, especially when we look at Jason. I think he just has way too much blood. Freddy, though, just doesn't need blood. That's my thought. Just didn't need it at all. Still a good-looking piece, and we will go ahead and add him to his corresponding display stand. That now leaves us with Jason. And there is the diorama with the iconic monument of his dead mother. Display stand does unpeg from the back as well. It feels like it's softer plastic. Actually, all of these kind of have a softer plastic, but this one feels a little more like it's hollow. I don't feel like the face of the mother matches that of the movie, but it does look like a lot. It does look a lot like the mother from the NES Friday the 13th game. Just kind of looks more like that to me. Candles are cool. The blood everywhere is a nice touch. Similar floor also to Freddy's. And then, having a look at Jason, you can maybe see what I'm talking about here. I love the look of him. In fact, he could have potentially been my favorite, but he just has so much blood all over the place. Root cause, if we were playing the game of Clue, I would say Jason would have done it in the woods with his pickaxe, or his pitchfork. And we can peg it into his hand. He can hold it like that. Love the look of the face. I have a soft spot for the Sackhead Jason. I just wish he didn't have so much blood all over his legs, his arms. It's everywhere. It is everywhere. The back kind of gives you a better feel for how it would have normally looked if it didn't have so much blood all over it. I think it could have pulled off being a very successful Mez-Itz, but just very excessive on the blood. Articulation, posability would be the same on Jason. Just, again, really stiff on the head here. By the way, if you are also wondering, the sack is not removable. It's sculpt. Shoulders, also on a ball joint. Swiveled wrists, swiveled waist, there we go, and ball joint legs. Let me know in the comments section below what you guys feel is the cooler Mez-Itz of the three here. I like Leatherface. I really, really want to love the Jason, but I just feel like he's got way too much blood going for him to be a win. But still, if you manage to pick up the original Mezco Mez-Itz, Cinema Fear Mez-Itz, this is a great accompanying piece. I should do some checking though, see if there is a non-bloodied version of these characters, as I really would like to have these with their non-bloodied clothes. But still, a fantastic, horrifying collection. Today's spooky spot, we were having a look at the Cinema of Fear Series 2, Mezco Mez-Itz. Stay tuned, guys. Spot's going to have more spooky spots heading to you this month of October. Thanks for watching. See you next time.